Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ruth. I am here today with.
Success Sadolo.
We are the Women of Unburnt, and today we just want to bring some information to the fore about women's mental health and certain things that are happening in the society. So, the goal with our podcasts and whatever else you're going to see us bring to you is to equip women with the inner strength to live to tell their stories. A lot of women have gone through things that have quietened them
Yeah,
and they have withdrawn to themselves so much so that the people that love them, that even reach out to them, do not know what is happening to them.
true.
Not necessarily because they're trying to keep a secret, but because they don't even think that people will get it. Like, what would I say? How would I express myself? How would I share for you to understand what I am dealing with?
Yeah,
And to have this conversation, we're going to start from a place that we all know and we talk about ever so often. But do we really understand what we're talking about? Even though we use these words, they're like buzzwords in social media. Do we really understand? And kicking off, we're looking at abuse. And according to the United Nations General Assembly from 1993, they defined woman abuse as any act of gender based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women. And it includes things as threats, coercion, arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or in private. So some people think that abuse is only when it's private and when it's public. Whether it's happening in privacy or in public, abuse is abuse.
abuse. Yeah.
Now, there are different forms of abuse. And my friend here and sister is going to list some of them, and we're going to focus on one that we really want to talk about today. Over to you, my darling.
Hello. So abuse. Abuse could be physical. Abuse could be sexually. Abuse could be neglect. When we talk about abuse, this physical neglect, sexual, or even emotionally turns to affect one's behavior, development, productivity, even dignity. So we all people know that is common is physical abuse, physical abuse, physical
So
abuse.
let's describe it a little bit. Because we
Okay.
might be like, physical abuse, and when he slaps you, right?
Yes,
And
yes. And
then you beaten.
that one is glaring. Everybody can see that one because
Yeah.
sometimes they slap you, they beat you, they you tend to see the marks or blood stains or whatever, and you just
Yeah.
yes, this person has been physically abused. The person doesn't have to explain. By mere looking at the person, you know the person is has been
Beautiful.
yes.
Nice. So now let's go to the next one, sexual abuse.
Okay.
Like you have rape, sexual assault, people touching people inappropriately in places they shouldn't be touching them. And even maybe saying things to people that instigates certain things. You just that's suggestive, sensual terms and conversations, right? And then we now go to verbal abuse.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that one too. There
Verbal
is
abuse.
abuse. Yes.
So using curse words, talking down on the person,
Looking down on the
saying,
person,
hmm,
which turns out to affect the person's self-esteem,
hmm,
using meaning words on the person and all. And it's very, very common. It's very, very common. People don't even know it's abuse. They just use it and some people just laugh over it, but it actually affects someone.
hmm.
Yes.
Wow. And you said something. You said neglect.
Oh. That one is a serious one, because that one, it's even difficult to explain, because when you
Hmm.
even explain it to people, they find it difficult to understand. Yes. It goes with emotional abuse.
Hmm.
Neglect and emotional abuse tend to go together, because when there's neglect, it affects you emotionally. And that emotional abuse is actually very difficult to explain.
So
Sometimes you
for
don't
the
even find the right words to say.
hmm. So
Yeah.
for the benefit of everybody that is going to listen or watch this, how can we identify neglect? Because as I'm saying it in my head, I'm going, neglect, neglect, neglect. How do we best explain this thing? So, women, we're dedicated to working with women. How do women understand that? So, because we're talking about women, parents can neglect their girl child, right?
Mhm.
Friends can be neglectful. But in our context, we want to look at romantic relationships,
Okay.
whether you're dating this person or you're married to someone. Because I mean, if I am at work and somebody is trying to be funny with me and I have a safe space at home, maybe my boss or co-workers are not responding and they are ignoring me. There are ways we can deal with that officially. I can bring this up. I could do a trail of emails, put our supervisors on top of it, and then that person will have to respond, give me the information I need to work eventually. If I'm in a school environment and something neglectful is happening, there are rules in place. I could report to the school authorities. There's so many things I could do to ensure that that person that is being neglectful
Like,
takes correction. And I may not carry it on my chest like I would if this was coming from a partner. And it might not be, I'm not saying it doesn't affect us, but the impact of external people neglecting us or being neglectful is different from when I come back home to the person that I'm supposed to be chilling with and doing life with. And this person is giving me cold shoulders.
shoulders, yeah.
How do we explain neglect to women that are in relationship dating or women that are already married? Because I mean, this is something that is happening and it's killing a lot of women. Because some women will look at, let me give you an example. I know a young girl that had, she's an only child, and her parents don't want anything to do with her. Her parents had wanted absolutely nothing to do with this child from when she was young, right? Now she's an adult. But from a very young age, her parents wanted nothing to do with her. And they were looking for who would take her, grow her up till she's an adult. And
Mhm.
they're stupidly rich, by the way. Train her till she's an adult and then bring her back. Because I mean, as an adult, you're not going to need anything from them. They're just going to be giving you money and it makes life
Mhm.
easy. And that child, from that young age, had a lot of scars all over her body.
Wow.
She did not fall down, not because she was falling down. She had a lot of bruises all over her body, face deformed. She didn't have friends. She lived in isolation, even when she was in the presence of other people that had nothing to do with her family. You know that in childhood, neglect is easy to identify a neglected child in the clinical setting. Even in adolescence, we know we've seen a lot of cases, and
Yeah.
it's easy to identify those cases when they show up. I've only seen one woman that had a serious domestic home front neglect that presented with these physical symptoms. So what we're saying, right, what I'm saying right now is neglect has physical symptoms, but not really in adults. You can see it in children, you can see it
Children.
in adolescents, but in adulthood, because we're all trying to look good, we all put on our makeup, we all take care of our skin, we all try to eat, we all try to patch it up. So, how can we, as a society, as individuals first, identify neglect and then help the larger society? So, are there things people should look out for to signal or trigger an alarm that this is neglect in my own life?